Charleston's first trucking expo is rolling into the Lowcountry September 17th with industry speakers, a kids zone, vendors, and CDL scholarships. Make sure to come to Ladson Exchange Park on September 17th and visit charlestontruckexpo.com.
It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, it's Monday. It's a brand new day, brand new week, brand new edition of the Geno Jones Show live. Shout out to everybody watching me live right now, 6:30 p.m. on the East Coast, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out in Los Angeles, out on the West Coast. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. You and everybody you know and don't know and like and don't like and can't stand and love, hate, aliens from outer space, strangers on the interstate, strangers on the subway, on the L, on the rapid transit line, whatever, on the Amtrak. I don't care, wherever you are. Please pass the word. As a matter of fact, I am the countdown to becoming a YouTube partner. So I'm like, I think now, less than 10 new subscribers away from becoming a YouTube partner. What does that mean, you ask? It means I'm less than 10 new subscribers away from becoming a YouTube partner. That means I'll be getting a YouTube check, securing that YouTube bag because of you. So thank you. My goal is to get a million subscribers by the end of 2024. So I want to get a head start now. So I want to thank everybody. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for supporting the Geno Jones Show. Thank you for supporting my media company, Geno Media. Thank you for supporting Black-owned businesses. Speaking of Black-owned businesses, today, Monday, we have a feature on the show. You know, we call Support Black-owned Businesses. And we have a young lady who she's the boss. Like, you know, you hear like the rap girl, I'm a boss. She's a for real boss. A for real boss. She got her own company. We're going to tell you. As a matter of fact, she will tell you her story and will share tips with you and I'm sure some insight on things that she learned and maybe share some insight with you. So maybe you don't make some of the mistakes that she might have made early on, or just some pearls of wisdom to help you become successful in your business endeavor. Let me start off the show with some good news. I got to congratulate young CoCo Gauff, 19-year-old U.S. Open women's tennis champion. Shout out to CoCo. I was amped. I was excited. It was like I was watching Allie a Boogie. It was like I was watching my own daughter. Because, you know, I see my child in any child. So even though she's a teenager, she's 19. So congratulations, CoCo Gauff. I know your mom and dad are proud of you. It was a beautiful moment at the end when she won. And first of all, she kind of just laid out on the court. And then she kind of sat and she prayed. She is a very religious, devout Christian, her and her family. Some people tried to clown her about that, but that's a whole nother story. Don't clown her. Karma's real. All right. You don't have to believe anything, but you don't have the right to clown her because of her faith. Look where it got her. So maybe you need to believe in something positive anyway, but I digress. So congratulations once again to Miss CoCo Gauff. It was just beautiful to see a beautiful black family. Black love between her mom and her dad. I make no apologies for celebrating black love, celebrating black families, because America's been anti-black in you name it. Separated families, transcontinental slave trade, and everything that came with the transcontinental slave trade and separation of families and kidnapping and lynching and rape and murder. You've heard it on the show. You've heard my monologues. So America's been really anti-black for 404 years. So I make no apologies being pro-black. And that's not, I'm not anti-anything outside of anti-racist and white nationalists and sexist and misogynist and anti-Semites and anti-religious bigots and anti-immigrant, translation, anti-Hispanic and people of color, brown people. So if you're not hating on anybody, I'm good with it. But no, I don't tolerate the hate. But congratulations to Miss CoCo Gauff, young lady, doing her thing. Next year, she going to handle that Wimbledon tournament. Go over there across the big pond over there in London and get that ass, spank them real good over there, and then come on back and defend your U.S. Open title. As a matter of fact, CoCo Gauff is the first American teenager to win the U.S. Open since, guess who? Her idol, Serena Williams, way back in 1999. Wow. What were you doing in 1999? Whoa. Happy birthday today, September 11th. One of my favorite actresses. She is a brilliant actress. Not only is she brilliant, she's got incredible range. She's funny. Heck, she could probably do stand-up because she's funny as all get out. But she can do some incredibly serious and powerful roles. One of my favorite roles, maybe my favorite role, is when she played Cookie Lyon in Empire. And then I forgot her character's name in Hustle and Flow. When she got in that booth and was singing, "It's hard out here for a pimp." I was like, "You're too much." Taraji P. Henson. Happy 53. Happy 53rd birthday, Big 50. The Big 5-3. The nickel tray today. Happy birthday, Taraji. Really, this beautiful sister. Outside and in, inside and out. She was in Baby Boy, like I said, Hustle and Flow. Her role, she played a black woman, a real life person. She played, I believe her name, Mrs. Johnson. I'm getting it wrong. So she was one of the African American women that worked for NASA. As a matter of fact, there was a small group of black women to where if they weren't at NASA, we'd have never made it to the moon. And Taraji's character, the sister, was brilliant when it came to like science and numbers and math and equations. She figured out what they were doing wrong because they were trying to fly this Apollo flight and it was blowing up. And Taraji's character figured it out. It's a wonderful movie. If you haven't seen it, check out Hidden Figures. So once again, happy birthday, Taraji P. 53 today. Also celebrating a birthday today, Chris Bridges. You're saying, okay, Chris Bridges? You mean Chris Tucker? You mean Chris Rock? Nope. I mean Chris Bridges. You've seen him in movies like Fast and Furious, all of them. And of course, he's a rapper. I'm talking about Ludacris. Happy 46th birthday to Ludacris. Do your thing, Luda, one of my favorite rappers of all time. So speaking of today, September 11th, today is a day that we remember. 22 years ago today, do you remember? I was talking about, do you remember where you were in 1999? Serena Williams won the U.S. Open. She was 19 years old. Do you remember where you were on this day in 2001? I was working, doing a radio show in Memphis, and I remember, because Memphis is on Central Time, like Chicago, so I got 2 phone calls around 8 o'clock. And both calls, all they said was, turn on the TV. Okay, turn on, what's going on? Turn on the TV. Second call, are you watching TV? No, I'm really kind of waking up. Turn on the TV. Turn on the TV. I turned on the TV. I see a hole in one of the World Trade Center towers in New York City. Smoke billowing out in real time. Then, I don't know, less than 20 minutes, maybe about 16 minutes, less than that probably, less than 15 minutes, I saw another plane, a second commercial airliner that flew into the second World Trade Center tower, South Tower. I come to learn the first tower that was hit, the World Trade Center tower, was the North Tower. The second tower that was hit was the second tower. And I'm watching, I'm like, okay, it's just got really real. And I'll never forget Tom Brokaw, who's an anchor on NBC, saying that America is under attack. I'll never forget him saying that in real time. Then we learned that there was a plane Then don't wait. No, I saw it. All of a sudden, you saw a big hole in the Pentagon. A plane flew into the Pentagon, and then we learned that there was another plane that was hijacked. That the hijackers had planned to fly into the U.S. Capitol, but the passengers on United Flight 191. There have been movies and documentaries about United Flight 191. And the passengers fought with the hijackers and kept that plane from flying into the U.S. Capitol. Everybody on the plane died. The plane crashed in a field in rural Pennsylvania, near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. So I want to remember those that lost their lives, the firefighters, the first responders, just the ordinary everyday citizens that tried to help people out. Not to mention those that have died from complications from all the combination of jet fuel and all kind of debris burning, and just that cloud, that toxic cloud that was created when those two towers collapsed. They imploded. As a matter of fact, I saw both. You saw it on television. Literally, it was like somebody just pushed them down, and you saw them implode. And you saw this cloud of toxic cloud of jet fuel and concrete and plastic and everything else just come out. So I want to make sure that we remember all those that lost their lives. Nearly 3,000 people at the World Trade Center site. They call it Ground Zero now. There's a new tower. There's also there's just so many things to remember and commemorate what happened 22 years ago today. We will never forget 9/11, 2001. And another reason to never forget it, so it won't happen again, because it could happen again. All right, let me segue. Today, so on the Geno Jones Show, from time to time, I do a segment at least a couple times a month. Support black-owned businesses, where I like to feature a black-owned business person to tell their story about success and what the journey was like, and all the odds and the obstacles that they had to overcome, and to share some pearls of wisdom, some positivity and words of encouragement, and some wisdom on how you could be successful as an entrepreneur with your current business, or maybe you've always dreamed of starting up your own business. So my guest today, she is a business coach. Just to put it real plain and simple, she'll give you all the details. She's got the full receipts, but she's a business coach and consultant for and not just for African Americans, but people of color. She is a managing partner of Rush Consulting. And ladies and gentlemen, there she is. You see her on the screen right there. I want to welcome Miss Maisha Rush. Hello, Maisha. How are you?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm good. How are you?
Well, I am honored. As a matter of fact, we met a couple weeks ago, and you introduced yourself to me, and you were telling me about your business. I was very impressed. I'm like, wow, okay. And so I told you I did this feature, so I'm so glad you reached out to me. So I guess we could start at the beginning of your journey. What was the beginning of your journey for Rush Consulting?
All right. So the beginning of Rush Consulting Firm started hard, like most small business owners, right? Because I always say that small businesses, especially Black businesses, are usually started out of necessity, not luxury, right? We don't wake up one day and say, oh, I got an extra $1 million. Let me put this into a business and start this thing. It's usually because of hardships, and we just try to make it through, right? And so my story is my husband and at the time 4 children, we were living out of our car, right? We were living out of our car. We couldn't find a shelter to help us because they wanted to separate us and we wanted to stay, together. They were like, we take the kids and the wife, but the husband has to stay. He has to go somewhere else. We're like, nope, we're not doing that. We're together and this is a team. And so we were looking for jobs, and I was submitting at least 100 resumes a day. I mean, I've got certifications, qualifications, degrees, you name it, I have it, but I could not find a job. So I think that was a prime opportunity for me to start researching and trying to find, okay, what kind of business can I start right now?
So wait,
that
Maisha, let me just jump in. I'm sorry to
okay.
interrupt, but just
Okay.
for the viewers. So this journey began when?
This was in 2012.
Okay, all right.
So I was researching what kind of business I can start. And so I started gathering all of this knowledge, right? And so we decided to start a cleaning company. It was literally like $5 to $10. We went to the dollar store, bought some products, and we started pitching to apartment complexes and management companies. And the business got so big to the point where we couldn't do it anymore. So we kind of sold out the contracts. I started another company. Remember, I got all this knowledge now. I know what I'm doing.
Right.
I started another company. That company got big. I got pregnant. I couldn't do it anymore. Sold that one out. And I sold another one. And then it was like, boom, you know what? This is something that I think the Black community needs. Because when you go into the business with the mind of selling it, you're always going to sustain it because you want it to look good on paper, right? So you can sell it. So I started there. And I eventually transitioned into just coaching people how to stabilize, strategize, and better monetize their business, which is our go-to motto, right? We help you stabilize your business so that you can start generating income, but because all of your documentation is right, all of your licensing is correct, everything that you need to have in order is in order. So we start there. So that was the consulting part. And in my consulting, it was a mindset, right? It was a mindset for Black people because I don't see Oprah every day. Yeah, we see Oprah's a millionaire. We see these millionaires on TV, but they're not necessarily an example for us because we don't see it. And so it's like a dream that we feel like we want, but don't necessarily believe that we can reach that potential. And so I had to start coaching with the mindset, and that's kind of where the business started coaching. And my clients, I started getting a big head because my clients were going further than I thought that I could even take them, hitting the $1 million mark and,
Wow.
get partnerships and collaborations. And I just was like, oh, I'm really doing this. So that's how we started. But just looking at the numbers, less than 2% of Black companies reach $1 million in gross. 13.64%. There's a 13.64% increase in Black business startups, but only between out of 8 out of every 10 Black businesses fail within the first 18 months.
Really?
Right? It's because they don't have capital, mostly because they don't have capital, but it's not because the capital is not out there. People are always, companies are always trying to have this on their resume. Oh, we help this Black company. We help this Black company. So the money is out there, but if you have poor structure, if you have lack of documentation, and you don't have a clear goal and lack of guidance, they're not going to bet on you. And so that's some of the things that we work with to make sure your vision is clear so that you can stay in alignment, so you can get where you're trying to go. We work with your standard operating procedures, your business plans, all of the stuff. And then you can move into getting grants, right? There's steps in business. And so that's what we do. We start from the bottom and we start so you can scale up.
So I was going to ask you, but you were ahead of the game and ahead of me. I was going because that statistic that you read was is alarming. That 8 out of 10 Black-owned businesses that launch fail within the first less than 2 years, 18, a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask, what's the number one reason, which I kind of figured. So you just confirmed what I believed. So what would you say to people watching now who just opened up a business, or maybe you've been open for a couple years, that you don't want to become that statistic, but it's, and I'm sure these businesses, they didn't do it because they weren't working hard or they weren't smart. It's just really hard for us. People don't want to bet on us. Too many times we don't want to bet on ourselves. That's why I always on this show, always bet on you. I'm not a gambler, but they say in Vegas, always bet on Black, and I say always bet on yourself, because nobody can beat you being the best version of you. Nobody.
That's
Oprah,
right.
none of them, Serena Williams, CoCo Gauff, none of them can beat you being the best version of you.
That's right.
So
that is absolutely
what
right.
pearl of wisdom would you share with the viewers out there? How did get around it. And I'm sure a lot of it is just being persistent. So
It is being persistent, but the most important thing is a lot of Black businesses, they lose motivation, right? Because they're not getting the money that they thought that they would get. And so when you lose motivation, you start to slack off. And my biggest thing is stop trying to do everything. You don't have to wear all the hats. It's not necessary. You can afford to outsource. A lot of people are like, I can't hire anybody. There are things like Fiverr, that you can get somebody to create you social media for $5, $10. You have to learn how to trust that someone is going to see your vision and they're going to help you with it. Because a lot of times you're like, oh, I don't want to tell somebody else to do this because what if they don't do it right? What if they don't do it right? What if they do it right? You know what I mean? Again, you have to bet on yourself and trust it. Trust that you have outlined everything that you want. And that comes back to documentation. You have to have the vision and the goal and the mission very clear, so that people can see it. So when you open your mouth, they know what you're talking about. One of the biggest things I work with people on is pitches. Your pitch should not be all 15 minutes long. When people ask me to introduce myself, hello, my name is Maisha Rush. I'm the managing partner of Rush Consulting Firm. We help you stabilize, strategize, and better monetize your business through coaching and consulting. You know who I am, you know the company, and you know what I do. And it took me less than 15 seconds.
It did. That's a headline. That's like a banner headline in the news on social media. So, Maisha, what would, for those who are watching, from your experience and the experience of many of your clients, especially for a new business or just starting up, what's the number one mistake that people should avoid making?
It's hard to dwindle that down to just
well, if you don't, would you say, is it like a top 3 or top 2?
No, I actually can narrow it down to number one, not having the vision.
Okay.
You got to have the vision, because if you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? That's kind of where the business plan comes in. Everybody thinks that a business plan is only for if you're looking for funding or collaborate. It's not. The business plan is for you to make sure that you stay in alignment and stay on track. Stop saying yes to everything. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it, especially if it's not in alignment. So stay clear on your vision so you always know where you're going. If you have an unclear vision, you're going to be everywhere.
So that means if your vision is to start a cleaning company or to open up a restaurant or open up a consulting firm, or maybe you want to open up a bakery, or you want to sell used cars, whatever that vision is, you just be. And what's a pearl of wisdom? What's some good advice that would help people how to stay clear? Because there are a lot of distractions. We live in crazy times. So what's the best way to stay focused? What do you tell people on how do they stay focused and be clear and not let life kind of cloud their vision?
Right. Understanding what your end goal is. So if you start a business, I want to start a bakery because I like to bake. That's great. But when you stop baking, is that bakery still going to make money? So what is the end goal? You want to start a bakery because you like to bake. And then what? Then you want to hire people. And then you want to outsource. And then you want to, what is the end goal? Staying focused on the end goal will always keep you in alignment, because you will know instantly. If somebody says, oh, I'm putting these steaks, I got these steaks. Can you make these steaks? I can make steaks, but I bake cakes. So that's not getting me where I'm trying to go. So keeping the end goal in mind will always keep you motivated and staying in alignment to get where you're trying to be.
Now, Maisha, earlier you were saying that you had so much success with companies who they got started and they became successful to be sold off. What would you say to those who want to build a company and make it hugely successful, but want that company, you want to turn it into legacy for your family, sons or daughters, or maybe a niece or nephew, someone in your family? I'm sure you work with them. So how would that approach be different? Because for me, let me just say this. I want us to hold on to grow, but so many times we create brilliant things and then other people kind of either come take them or remix them or claim. I just think about a lot of the great inventors, you know, I mean, Lewis Latimer. I mean, people talk about Benjamin Franklin and Alexander Bell. Nope, that light filament and all that. Google Lewis Latimer. But so, what would you say about those who want to build? Because I think it's so important for just our community overall and culture, not just here in America, but just you know, our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean and back on the motherland continent. So, what would be your advice for that? To build
So
that
I would
legacy?
say, oddly enough, don't focus so much on the nepotism. Like, don't focus so much on, I want to keep this in the family,
Okay.
because that's where a lot of businesses fail. I'm gonna bring my sister in to do this. I'm gonna bring my cousin in to do his, and then the vision starts to get all scanty and it's broken up and it's minced in little pieces, and nobody's doing the job right. And boom, next thing you know it, you don't have a business anymore. If you're gonna bring in family and friends, because that's a goal, right? You don't want to just succeed by yourself. You want to bring the people with you, but the people have to know your vision and see how they can bring in their vision to incorporate it with yours. If that's not going to work, then hey, you know, I don't think we're a really good fit, but what you're trying to do, I believe in that. So let me help you and instruct you on how I've gotten where I am. And when I get my money right, I'll be able to invest in your dream. You know what I mean? You don't have to bring them in.
I like
Focus
that.
on their dream, you know, and help them out.
I like that. Or if they do share your vision and dream, make sure that they got the receipts like you had, that they're qualified to
That's
be in a
right.
position. So you put them in a position not to fail, but to succeed because they've put in the work and they've got the receipts. They're prepared to be an asset and not a liability. Is that right?
That's right. Absolutely. You are absolutely right. I would agree with that.
Well, listen, I'm sure anyone watching, if they would love to have you come on as a consultant or as a business coach, share all your contact information with everybody on social media. And thank you for this time. It was, look, I love your energy. You could tell that you definitely, you know, you've got your receipts, but I think your story, because I didn't know your story, but hearing your story, is very powerful and inspiring. I think that part of your story is as important or even more important with all the receipts and the knowledge that you bring, and being willing to share something so personal. Because a lot of people wouldn't do it; they'd be ashamed of it, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Life. I mean, life deals us all a hand. We all get knocked down. So we in life, there's nobody that ain't gonna get knocked down. We all get knocked down. It's how fast you get up.
That's right.
Learn from that. Okay, I took that punch. So when I see it coming, I know. I know what you're about to do. Boom, boom. So share all your social media and contact information for people who would like to reach out to you and discuss having you come on as a coach or consultant.
Okay, you can go to www.rushconsultingfirm.com and book a free 60-minute consultation to see if we're a good fit, right? I need to know that you're ready to put in the work to get where you're trying to go. Or you can basically just Google me. All of my social media comes up. It's MAISHARUSH. But yeah, that's basically how you get in touch with us. You can book us from there. You can find out anything that you need to from there. If you have any questions, you can email me from there. I'm available. I'm an open book. You know, I stand on honesty, integrity, transparency, and self-accountability. And I hope my clients to the same stature.
I love it. I love it. Maisha pulled a shot. She's like, Google me. just Google me, brothers and sisters. You can find me. One last question before I let you get out of here. So what's next? What's like that? Speaking of vision, what's like your ultimate vision or your next vision?
So we're currently working on opening an office in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, my hometown.
Wow.
And also San Diego, California. And right now we have this thing that we just started where anyone who finishes coaching with us, they become a permanent partner. So anyone who needs their services, we refer our clients straight to them. And we put their information on our website. It's like a big family. Like, I don't want to just grow. I want the people that I work with to grow. And what better way to do that than to give them an outlet to, say what they do and who they are.
I am really impressed. I am so glad. God don't make no mistakes, as my mother, who's watching me now, always tells me. So it wasn't an accident that we crossed paths and we got to meet each other. And your energy, I tell people, our spirit is energy. At the end of the day, your spirit is just energy. It can be positive energy, negative energy. It can be nurturing, loving. It can be condescending, or just evil. But we all emit energy, and obviously, the energy you emitted, like energy connects. So it was like the light. Those two lights were like drawn to each other. So you have an incredible story. Congratulations on your success. You are a permanent part of the Geno Jones Show family. So feel free. We'd love to have you come back. If there's any major announcements that you have with your company, with anyone else, you got a media home right here on the Geno Jones Show. Once again, she is the managing partner. I like that. The managing partner of Rush Consulting. Huh?
You got to make it sound nice.
Yeah, it does. It's impressive. Yeah. Maisha Rush of Rush Consulting. I just want to make sure I got that right. Yep, Rush Consulting. Thank you so much, Maisha. May God continue to bless you and your family and your business. And we will talk soon.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. You have a wonderful night.
All right, you too. What an incredible, wow, what an incredible story. And the fact that she was willing to be that vulnerable and share her story about living out of a car, her and her family. So that should be inspiration right there, always. And the one thing that she did, even when she was going through this hardship, and she talked about how people wanted to separate the family, would take her and the kids, but not the husband. She's like, no, we're a team. She never, and it's clear, they never stopped betting on themselves. That's why I always say, always. I know some days it gets tough for all of us, myself, present company included. Some days, you got to just, pick yourself up. But always bet on yourself. Because as my grandfather taught me, any day above ground is a good day. And any day that you have above ground gives you the opportunity to bet on yourself and to make any and all your dreams come true. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, and especially you, and God most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out in Los Angeles. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. You and everybody you know. I'm less than 10 new subscribers from becoming a YouTube partner. That means I'm less than 10 new subscribers from getting a YouTube check. You'll see their ads. The ads you see now are my own ads, or ads that I've gone out and recruited from those who are fans or followers of the show, fans of the show. So thank you for all your support. Shout out to all my new subscribers. Shout out to my subscribers that's been down from day one. Man, like Heavy D said, I got nothing but love for you, baby. I got nothing but love for you, honey. All right, everybody. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show, CEO of Designer Cuts in Goose Creek, and part of the Charleston, South Carolina Metro. Check him out on IG, on Instagram, Kel Be Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP. Allie Jones is, I like to call her, the drip director, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show, along with my buddy, Mr. Bruce Gage. Allie Jones, check out her LX.NCL collection. She had a special summer crochet collection, a crochet line. She had crocheted swimsuits, two-piece swimsuits, one-piece swimsuit, tops, leggings, handbags, little scullies. So now she'll have the fall and winter crochet line of her and she does denim and more. LX.NCL underscores that little dash at the bottom, that little dash at the bottom all the way to the right. After LX.N, like Nanette, CL underscore. And Bruce Gage, his signature collection, the Mario Uomo collection, the Flyball collection, and more. Check out his drip, his fashion, his collections. Miglio di Mario Uomo, MIGLIODIMARIOUOMO, MIGLIODIMARIOUOMO. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So if you missed some of this show, if you came in halfway through, whenever, you can go back and binge watch all of this, and then go back and binge watch all my back episodes at the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Once again, I want to thank Maisha Rush of Rush Consulting. Thank you. She is a business coach and a consultant. Thank you, Maisha, for sharing your story. A very inspirational, very powerful story. So you're looking, and you look, she got the receipts. Very impressive. So if you're looking for a business coach or a consultant, you need to reach out to my friend Maisha Rush. Get Maisha Rush, contact her. She said, just Google her. Maisha, that's Maisha, Maisha, Maisha Rush of Rush Consulting. All right, everybody. Until Tuesday, 6:30 p.m., which will be the next live edition. Go back and watch all my back episodes, because they were, at one time, they were all live. Be blessed. Pray for peace. Thank you for watching. I'll holla.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.
Charleston's first trucking expo is rolling into the Lowcountry September 17th with industry speakers, a kids zone, vendors, and CDL scholarships. Make sure to come to Ladson Exchange Park on September 17th and visit charlestontruckexpo.com.